Today we're going to be reading some bedtime stories, and I hope that you will enjoy them. I just need to make sure that all of our resources are operating correctly. And it looks like they are. Yep, we are all good here. This is working. Just gotta double check this is working. Yes. All right. Welcome. We are going to be reading a couple of short stories today, ranging from a minute to a few minutes, from all sorts of areas of history. So all you need to do is lay back, relax, and listen to the story. The first one is She Walketh Veiled and Sleeping by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. She walketh veiled and sleeping, for she knoweth not her power. She obeyeth but the pleading of her heart and the high leading of her soul unto this hour. Slow advancing, halting, creeping, comes the woman to the hour. She walketh veiled and sleeping, for she knoweth not her power. And that's one. The next one, I'm sure we're all familiar with Aesop. This one is called Two Bags. Every man carries two bags about with him, one in front and one behind, and both are packed full of faults. The bag in front contains his neighbor's faults, the one behind his own. Hence, it is that men do not see their own faults, but never fail to see those of others. And that was another short one. Let's see if I can find one that's a little bit longer. I'm not a fan of the 1 minute ones, though there is a lot. Maybe I shouldn't give up on them. Maybe I should keep reading a couple more. Hi, Cat. Hi, Tabby. Hi, Cappy Joey. Let me get my auto liker on. You're a real G. This one is also by Aesop. The Crab and His Mother. An old crab said to her son, "Why do you walk sideways like that, my son? You ought to walk straight." The young crab replied, "Show me how, dear mother, and I'll follow your example." The old crab tried, but tried in vain, and then saw how foolish she had been to find fault with her child. Hi, Venom. Forehead kiss to you, moi. Welcome back. Generally watch the like count is gonna break one of these days. The Spring, My Dear, by William Ernest Henley. The spring, my dear, is no longer spring. Does the blackbird sing what he sang last year? Are the skies the old immemorial blue? Or am I, or are you, grown cold? Though life be change, it is hard to bear when the old sweet air sounds forced and strange. To be out of tune, plain you and I, it were better to die, and soon. Alright, that one was weird. Weird vibes, bro. I'm already going to need a refill on my water. Idea, reading song lyrics like a dramatic reading or long poem. Hi, Midnight. Praise the generous gods. William Ernest Henley. Praise the generous gods for giving in a world of wrath and strife, with a little time for living unto all the joy of life. At whatever source we drink it, art or love or faith or wine, in whatever terms we think it, it is common and divine. Praise the high gods for in giving this to man, and this alone, they have made his chance of living shine the equal of their own. What did someone just say? Who said what? Oh. Yeah, we won't worry about that. We've got the police on them. Mods, get this guy. Get that guy, get that guy. Dog pile. Yeah, I don't read chat because I'm reading not chat, and you guys dogpile. Ooh. Locked Inside. What a great one. Locked Inside by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. She beats upon her bolted door with faint, weak hands, dreary walks the narrow floor, sullenly sits, blank walls before, despairing stands. Life calls her, duty, pleasure, gain. Her dreams respond, but the blank daylights wax and wane, dull peace, sharp agony, slow pain, no hope beyond. Till she comes a thought. She lifts her head, the world grows wide. A voice, as if clear words were said, your door, O long imprisoned, is locked inside. That one might take a little wrapping your head around, but it just said the door's locked from the inside. Ding dong. Duh. Hi, dog. Big salute. Can we get some salutes to B-dogs? Right now, the big mod man in the clock app. They just pop up out of nowhere, immediately gets tased. 07. Are you streaming Sunday? Yes. I will not be live tomorrow. I will be live on Sunday. How many money? Hello. The next one is The Fox and the Grapes by Aesop. A hungry fox saw some fine bushes of grapes hanging from a vine that was trained along a high trellis, and did his best to reach them by jumping as high as he could into the air. But it was all in vain, for they were just out of reach. So he gave up trying and walked away with an air of dignity and unconcern, remarking, "I thought those grapes were ripe, but now I see they are quite sour." Just grow longer legs, forehead. You know, Venom, excellent question. Not sure. Not sure what they're doing. What are we reading? We are reading bedtime stories, short stories. The next one is Requiescat by Oscar Wilde. Yeah, Requiescat. I needed another drink of water. Hello, Zero. Hello, T. Don't forget to drink your water. I see you. Can we get 2-sentence horror stories? Only if the 2-sentence horror story Redditors don't sue me for copyright. Yeah, Redditors get really serious about their copyright. What if I don't want to drink water? You want to get waterboarded? Job application. Alright. Requiescat by Oscar Wilde. Tread lightly, she is near, under the snow. Speak gently, she can hear the daisies grow. All her bright golden hair tarnished with rust, she that was young and fair fallen to dust. Lily-like, white as snow, she hardly knew she was a woman, so sweetly she grew. Coffin board, heavy stone, lie on her breast. I vex my heart alone, she is at rest. Peace, peace, she cannot hear, lyre or sonnet. All my life's buried here, heap earth upon it. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, that Lugal. Thank you, Lugal, for the 34 months. I got absolutely bodied by a bunch of fish. You want to get waterboarded? First impressions are wild. Hey, you stayed though, right? It worked. What is that? When we get subscribers, it launches a bunch of fish at me for however long you've been subscribed. Only on the purple platform, unfortunately. You know, if we had the API for the other place, public, I would integrate more things, but unfortunately, they don't make the API public. Ashes to ashes and crust to crust. I just think of ashes to ashes, Rammstein. Don't we have the APIs for that? If you're willing to pay money for a key to get access to the API, if you're willing to pay for it. I don't know how much it costs. Hi, Josh. The Dog and the Shadow. A dog was crossing a plank bridge over a stream with a piece of meat in his mouth when he happened to see his own reflection in the water and thought it was another dog with a piece of meat twice as big. So he let go his own and flew at the other dog to get the larger piece. But of course, all that happened was that he got neither, for one was only a shadow, and the other was carried away by the current. Damn, that's like morbid. Get the dog. Ashe, zu ashe. Don't ask me what any of the other lyrics are. I don't know. Strange. Good night. I hope that you sleep well. Am I going to know some of the words in this? El Dorado by Edgar Allan Poe. Gaily bedight, a gallant knight, in sunshine and in shadow, had journeyed long, singing a song, in search of El Dorado. But he grew old, this knight so bold, and o'er his heart a shadow fell as he found no spot of ground that looked like El Dorado. And as his strength failed him at length, he met a pilgrim shadow. Shadow, said he, where can it be, this land of El Dorado? Over the mountains of the moon, down the valley of the shadow, ride, boldly ride, the shade replied, if you seek for El Dorado. And we just keep reading. This is giving so much of Dishonored monologue. What is that? Is this an actual monologue? Dishonored is a game. Yeah, I'm familiar with just like that it exists. Is there a specific monologue that is being referred to? Hi, Martin. It's placed in the plague era of England. There is a heart that can be read, that can read minds, and it tells them very cryptic. We've got a live Venom. I love it. We got a live one. We got one. Get him. Dog pile. I'm having a bit of a crisis at the moment. Can my voice soothe you? I hope. Do we need some affirmations? Do we need to put your hand over your heart and take a few long, deep breaths, all right? In through your nose. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Do it again. In. Hold it. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now let it out. Yeah. Just like that. Just like that. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Can we get some hugs and chat? If you haven't had a hug today, if you need a hug, if you just want to give somebody a hug, you can just say the word !hug. Give people some hugs. Afternoon by Dorothy Parker. When I am old and comforted and done with this desire, with memory to share my bed and peace to share my fire, I'll comb my hair in scalloped bands beneath my laundered cap and watch my cool and fragile hands lie light upon my lap. And I will have a sprigged gown with lace to kiss my throat. I'll draw my curtain to the town and hum a purring note. I'll forget the way of tears and rock and stir my tea. But oh, I wish those blessed years were further than they be. I don't know what that means, but good for them, I guess. The Farmer and the Fox. A farmer was greatly annoyed by a fox, which came prowling about his yard at night and carried off his fowls. So he set a trap for him and caught him, and in order to be revenged upon him, he tied a bunch of tow to his tail and set fire to it and let him go. As ill luck would have it, however, the fox made straight for the fields where the corn was standing ripe and ready for cutting. It quickly caught fire, and all was burnt up, and the farmer lost all his harvest. Dang, can't relate. Imagine. I guess it's, if we wanted to analyze some of these short stories, which we are not in the business of doing so. Thank you so much for the gift, thank you. If we were in the business of maybe interpreting these, I would expect that the last message to be something of showing malicious intent and not anticipating the karma that comes back. To analyze them, we need to know when they were written. Well, this one is also by Aesop, and it's from 400 BC. The Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. A wolf resolved to disguise himself in order that he might prey upon a flock of sheep without fear of detection. So he clothed himself in a sheepskin and slipped among the sheep when they were out at pasture. He completely deceived the shepherd, and when the flock was penned for the night, he was shut in with the rest. But that very night, as it happened, the shepherd, requiring a supply of mutton for the table, laid hands on the wolf in mistake for a sheep, and killed him with his knife on the spot. Oopsie daisy. This next one, The Ant by Aesop. Ants were once men and made their living by tilling the soil. But, not content with the results of their own work, they were always casting longing eyes upon the crops and fruits of their neighbors, which they stole whenever they got the chance and added to their own store. At last their covetousness, I don't know why I struggled. At last their covetousness made Juniper, Jupiter. At last their covetousness made Jupiter so angry that he changed them into ants. But, though their forms were changed, their nature remained the same. And so, to this day, they go about among the cornfields and gather the fruits of others' labor and store them up for their own use. I also need more water. There may be a water break coming up. The Land of Counterpane by Robert Louis Stevenson. When I was sick and lay abed, I had 2 pillows at my head, and all my toys beside me lay to keep me happy all the day. And sometimes for an hour or so I watched my leaden soldiers go with different uniforms and drills among the bedclothes through the hills. And sometimes I sent my ships in fleets all up and down among the sheets, or brought my trees and houses out and planted cities all about. I was the giant great and still that sits upon the pillow hill, and sees before him dale and plain, the pleasant land of Counterpane. Water is weirdly underrated. Emperor, if you like water so much, then why are you named after tea? Somebody's talking to you, Emperor. Life is Bitter by William Ernest Henley. Life is bitter. All the faces of the years, young and old, are grey with travail and with tears. Why must we only wake to toil, to tire, to weep? In the sun, among the leaves, upon the flowers, slumber stills to dreamy death the heavy hours. Let me sleep. Riches won but mock the old, unable years. Fame's a pearl that hides beneath a sea of tears. Love must wither, or must live alone and weep. In the sunshine, through the leaves, across the flowers, while we slumber, death approaches though the hours. Let me sleep. I like that one. Should I just get more theatrical with every single reading? Excuse me. Water is used to make tea because tea needs water. Angel and Emperor have great points. However, we were talking about plain water. I am talking about water with electrolytes, but that's because I have my own specific needs. Hi, Reikai. Did I see your video? No, I didn't. You said that you tagged me in it, but I didn't see anything. I didn't get anything. I have electrolytes in my water because I have a condition and I need a high amount of sodium. I don't know if you can make tea with Dr. Pepper. Somebody's got to try it now. I gotta know. Each time I speak a message in chat, I see it as theatrical, and it's always grand in my mind. I love water and water leaves equally. They are like children. I love the same. I will bust out the theater kid, like the theater kid vibes. Do not tempt me. I will be tempted. I've already read this one, and made it a social media video. But this one is Invictus, William Ernest Henley. And this one, oh my god, my editor absolutely slapped. They cooked with this one because they put it over I think Elden Ring like edit. Oh my god, it cooked. It cooked. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate and the captain of my soul. God damn, she cooking. She cooking. The next edit is gonna be like so good. Hi Tom, thank you. I love Elden Ring edits. I don't know that I'm able to like go through my social media and grab the clip for you, but I kind of wish I could. There is another puzzle that has not been done yet. I don't know if it will automatically go back. I can't get good gameplay for edits. Womp womp. I haven't played and I do not plan on playing it, so nobody is allowed to bother me. Nah, not the word that I wanted to see. No one is allowed to bully me. That's the word I wanted to say. No one's allowed to bully me about this. Not gonna lie, give me enough time and a few seconds of inspiration and I can write some sick lines. I am, in fact, a poet by definite, I believe. Hi, Red Apple Juice. Do you enjoy yaoi? One in chat if you enjoy yaoi. Thank you so much, Snow. Thank you for the gifts. Venom is all for yaoi. I repeat, Venom is on board for the yaoi. That was out of nowhere. It's from the clock app. Are we surprised? I'm not. Where is the code? Communities, integrations. Okay, here we go. I need this link. And then I need to come over here. I think that this may be a perfect opportunity for me to go refill my water and to run to the bathroom because I've gotta run to the bathroom. So I will be right back, and until then, there is a new puzzle, and if you'd like to join the puzzle, the link is in the profile. I have returned. The sound of silence does... No, you've got background audio. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing to stress about. I am all stress. All the time. Hi, if you don't know me, I'm stressed. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me back. I feel so importante. Importante. Bright color. Moonlight. Ooh. Ooh. Thank you for the kissies. Do you like the blue? Or no blue? I feel like it's so vibes, you know? It's such calm vibes. I go back to reading. We are... The past was goodly once. William Ernest Henley. The past would... The past was goodly once, and yet, when all is said, the best of it we know is that it's done and dead. Dwindled and faded quite, perished beyond recall. Nothing is left at last of what one time was all. Coming back like a ghost, staring and lingering on, never a word it speaks but proves it dead and gone. Duty and work and joy, these things it cannot give. And the present is life, and life is good to live. Let it lie where it fell, far from the living sun. The past, that, goodly once, is gone and dead and done. Slay. That's how you mark the end of that story. There's sunset. You wanted a deep orange? Deep orang. I found your orang. Am I alone on the clock app? Oh no. Are you alone on the clock app? Is anybody exist? It says that there are 26 orang. And there's summer, which doesn't really look too different. And then there's also StephTsu. Thanks, I hate it. I kind of like switching it up a little bit. You are not alone in totality. You may be alone in the clock app comments. I like StephTsu because it's darker. Nom nom nom. I took a nap and the ads. No!
Sorry.
The ads woke you up?
Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy?
Mommy? Mommy, where? This one is nightfall. This one is night. Spooky. I feel very spooky. This one is just moonlight. Mommy? That's me. I like this. It's just like a little muted, but not too much. I'm looking for a wall piece and I can't find it. We got a live... Mommy is allowed. My fishies are actually very good listeners. I have told them I do not accept being called sorry, I just got distracted by a very important message. I have emphasized and set my boundaries that I do not accept being sexualized. However, being called mommy in regard to being comforting and providing comfort as a motherly figure, this is allowed. So if you didn't know, now you do. What's the next one? You got face rig. My face? Does my face move? My face moves. Does your face not move? Here. Hold on, I gotta find my face. My face moves. Are you gonna tell me that your face doesn't move? It's really weird. Really weird. Why doesn't your face move? Boo. Big scary. Never thought of it that way. I mean, I did, but not on me. That's all right. That's for myself, one of the reasons behind my eventual next character design, my 2.0 design, will be evaluating how I can get that point further across simply just visually. The Boy and the Filberts by Aesop. A boy put his hand into a jar of filberts and grasped as many as his fist could possibly hold. But when he tried to pull it out again, he found he couldn't do so, for the neck of the jar was too small to allow the passage of so large a handful. Unwilling to lose his nuts, but unable to withdraw his hand, he burst into tears. A bystander, who saw where the trouble lay, said to him, "Come, my boy, don't be so greedy. Be content with half the amount, and you'll be able to get your hand out without difficulty." Brain Cell, we are reading short stories and bedtime stories and poems. Thank you, B-Donks. Your free entertainment. Slay. Happy to be free entertainment. The Land of Nod, Robert Louis Stevenson. From breakfast on through the day, at home along my friends I stay. I read both sentences wrong. From breakfast on through all the day, at home among my friends I stay, but every night I go abroad afar into the land of Nod. All by myself I have to go, with no one to tell me what to do, all alone beside the streams and up the mountain sides of dreams. The strangest things are there for me, both things to eat and things to see, and many frightening sights abroad, till morning in the land of Nod. Try as I like to find the way, I never can get back by day, nor can remember plain and clear the curious music that I hear. See, like, there's so many 1-minute ones. I'm like, okay, can we progress? But at the same time, I'm like, content. Let me see if I can find one that's a little bit longer. My Shadow by Robert Louis Stevenson. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me from the heels to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into bed. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow, not at all like proper children, which is always very slow, for he sometimes shoots up taller, like an India rubber ball, and sometimes he gets so little that there's none of him at all. He hasn't got a notion of how children ought to play, and he can only make a fool of me in every sort of way. He stays so close beside me he's a coward you can't see. I'd think shame to stick to Nursey as that shadow sticks to me. One morning, very early before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup, but my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepyhead, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. It is 1 a.m., but I want breakfast. I would like breakfast. Can I breakfast? A Reflection by Kate Chopin. Some people are born with a vital responsive energy. It not only enables them to keep abreast of the times, it qualifies them to furnish in their own personality a good bit of the motive power to the mad pace. They are fortunate beings. They do not need to apprehend the significance of things. They do not grow weary nor misstep, nor do they fall out of rank and sink by the wayside, to be left contemplating the moving procession. Ah, that moving procession that has left me by the roadside. Its fantastic colors are more brilliant and beautiful than the sun on the undulating waters. What matter if souls and bodies are failing beneath the feet of the ever-passing multitude? It moves with the majestic rhythm of the sphere. Its discordant clashes sweep up. Its discordant clashes sweep upward in one harmonious tone that blends with the music of other worlds to complete God's orchestra. It is greater than the stars, that moving procession of human energy, greater than the palpitating earth and the things growing thereon. Oh, I could weep at being left by the wayside, left with the grass and the clouds and a few dumb animals. True, I feel at home in the society of these symbols of life's immutability. In the procession, I could feel the crushing feet, the clashing discords, the ruthless hands and stifling breath. I could not hear the rhythm of the march. Salve, ye dumb hearts, let us be still and wait by the roadside. And wait by the roadside. did not plan on falling asleep now. I've gotta go do stuff. Oh, sorry for putting you to sleep so early, Beans. Get done what you needed to get done. Is this a new model? This is not. This is not a new model. This is the model I've been using for the past year and a half. This is my original model. The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse by Aesop. A town mouse and a country mouse. A town mouse and a country mouse were acquaintances, and the country mouse one day invited his friend to come and see him at his home in the fields. The town mouse came, and they sat down to a dinner of barley corn and roots, the latter of which had a distinctly earthy flavor. The fare was not much to the taste of the guest, and he presently broke out with, "My poor dear friend, you live no better than the ants. Now you should see how I fare. My larder is a regular horn of plenty. You must come and stay with me, and I promise you, you shall live on the fat of the land." So when he returned to town, he took the country mouse with him, and showed him into a larder containing flour and oatmeal and figs and honey and dates. The country mouse had never seen anything like it, and sat down to enjoy the luxuries his friend provided. But before they had well begun, the door of the larder opened and someone came in. The two mice scampered off and hid themselves in a narrow and exceedingly uncomfortable hole. Presently, when all was quiet, they ventured out again, but someone else came in, and off they scuttled again. This was too much for the visitor. "Goodbye," said he. "I'm off. You live in the lap of luxury, I can see, but you are surrounded by dangers, whereas at home I can enjoy my simple dinner of roots and corn in peace." Do you make your own models? I do not. This model was commissioned, and the artist takes a limited number of commissions throughout the year. So mine was several batches ago. How long? Another 45 minutes. Now we're getting into the short stories, the poetry and such, that are about 2 minutes long. Which 2 minutes is, of course, always still too long for the clock app, but c'est la vie. Memory, H.P. Lovecraft. In the valley of Nis, the accursed waning moon shines thinly, tearing a path for its light with feeble horns through the lethal foliage of a great upas tree. And within the depths of the valley, where the light reaches not, move forms not meet to be beheld. Move forms not meet to be beheld. Rank is the herbage on each slope, where evil vines and creeping plants crawl amidst the stones of ruined palaces, twining tightly about broken columns and strange monoliths, and heaving up marble pavements laid by forgotten hands. And in the trees that grow gigantic in crumbling courtyards leap little apes, while in and out of the deep treasure vaults writhe poison serpents and scaly things without a name. Vast are the stones which sleep beneath coverlets of dank moss, and mighty were the walls from which they fell. For all time did their builders erect them, and in sooth they yet serve nobly, for beneath them the grey toad makes his habitation. At the very bottom of the valley lies the river Thon, whose waters are slimy and filled with weeds. From hidden springs it rises and to subterranean grottos. Okay. And to subterranean grottos it flows, so that the daemon of the valley knows why its waters are red. Knows not why its waters are red, nor whither they are bound. The genie that haunts the moonbeams spake to the demon of the valley, saying, I am old and forget much. Tell me the deeds and aspects and name of them who built these of stone. I guess I can't read. I am suddenly illiterate. I am old and forget much. Tell me the deeds and aspect and name of them who built these things of stone. And the demon replied, I am memory, and am wise in the lore of the past, but I too am old. These beings were like the waters of the river Thon, to be, not to be understood. Their deeds I recall not, for they were but of the moment. For they were but of the moment. Their aspect I recall dimly, for it was like that of the little apes in the trees. Their name I recall clearly, for it rhymed with that of the river. These beings of yesterday were called man. So the genie flew back to the thin-horned moon, and the demon looked intently at the little ape in the tree that grew in the crumbling courtyard. When is the outtake and water break compilation dropping? Honestly, some of my favorite ASMR moments. Yeah, when I crash out and when I'm gulping water. Here, I'll gulp again. You guys love your gulps. Oh Lord, she gulpin'. I smell food. I want food. Try listening to gulping ASMR and tell us that doesn't feel nice. Annabelle Lee, Edgar Allan Poe. Hi, Alpha Yeti. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee, so that her high-born kinsmen came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a word that I don't know.
Sepulcher.
Okay. To shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels not half so happy in heaven went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise and I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. PogChamp. The tea emperor has arrived. Am that fish in the back? Where? There's fish? I couldn't tell. Kidding. I'm gonna take a nap. Happy your voice that I. Hi, Alfie Yeti. Hello. A growling pog. Why is no one chatting? Because this platform doesn't like me. I wish I had a better answer for you. Oh, hey, is the clicker, the like button, does the like button still work? Yo, what up, ghost? We are hip in this house. Emancipation, a life fable. Kate Chopin. There was once an animal born into this world, and opening his eyes upon life, he saw above and about him confining walls, and before him were bars of iron, through which came air and light from without. This animal was born in a cage. Here he grew and throve in strength and beauty under the care of an invisible protecting hand. Hungering, food was ever at hand. When he thirsted, water was brought, and when he felt the need to rest, there was provided a bed of straw upon which to lie, and here he found it good, licking his handsome flanks, to bask in the sunbeam that he thought existed but to lighten his home. Awaking one day from his slothful rest, lo, the door of his cage stood open. Accident had opened it. In the corner he crouched, wondering and fearing. Then slowly did he approach the door, dreading the unaccustomed, and would have closed it, but for such a task his limbs were purposeless. So out the opening he thrust his head, to see the canopy of the sky grow broader, and the world waxing wider. Back to his corner, but not to rest, for the spell of the unknown was over him. And again, he goes to close the door, seeing each time more light. Then the time standing in the flood of it, a deep indrawn breath, a bracing of strong limbs, and with a bound he was gone. On he rushes in his mad flight, heedless that he is wounding and tearing his sleek sides seeing, smelling, touching of all things, even stopping to put his lips to the noxious pool, thinking it may be sweet. Hungering there is no food, but such as he must seek and oft times fight for, and his limbs are weighted before he reaches the water that is good to his thirsting throat. That is the end of that one. Hey Pan, welcome back. Why is my phone giving me so many buzzes? I don't appreciate that. Hello account. Hi Cream Puffs. We got the Great Calamity. Poets of the Tomb. Oh, this one's a long one. The Poets of the Tomb by Henry Lawson. Excuse me. The world has had enough of bards who wish that they were dead. 'Tis time the people passed a law to knock 'em on the head. For 'twould be lovely if their friends could grant the rest they crave. Those bards of tears and vanished hopes, those poets of the grave. They say that life's an awful thing and full of care and gloom. They talk of peace and restfulness connected with the tomb. They say that man is made of dirt and die, of course he must. But all the same, a man is made of pretty solid dust. There is a thing they forget, so let it be here writ. That some are made of common mud, and some are made of grit. Some try to help the world along while others fret and fume, and wish that they were slumbering in the silence of the tomb. Twixt mother's arms and coffin gear a man has work to do, and if he does his very best he mostly worries through. And while there is a wrong to right, and while the world goes round, an honest man alive is worth 1,000,000 underground. And yet, as long as she-oaks sigh and wattle blossoms bloom, the world shall hear the drivel of the poets of the tomb. And though the graveyard poets long to vanish from the scene, I notice that they mostly wish their resting place kept green. Now, were I rotting underground, I do not think I'd care if wombats rooted on the mound or if the cows camped there. And should I have some feelings left when I have gone before, I think a ton of solid stone would hurt my feelings more. Such wormy songs of moldy joys can give me no delight. I'll take my chances with the world, I'd rather live and fight. Though fortune laughs along my track, or wears her blackest frown, I'll try to do the world some good before I tumble down. Let's fight for things that ought to be and try to make 'em bloom. We cannot help mankind when we are ashes in a tomb. Water break. Take a sip of water. I know you guys love the gulps. Gulping ASMR. Should I really make a video and put it on the red platform? And it's literally just called Gulping ASMR. They're cozy stories. I know people have asked for, not often, but people have asked for H.P. Lovecraft. Do we need more Lovecraft? Because a lot of this right now is poetry. Let's see, there's Princess and the Pea. Got a lot of poetry here. The Doer of Good by Oscar Wilde. Okay, Azathoth. Azathoth. I don't know how to pronounce it. The Phoenix Bird. Maybe a short. I've seen videos titled like that. Gulping ASMR. Oh, the food. Food smells very good. I want food. You do not want to see my search history? Tell me what you know. What do people like about the gulping anyway? I don't know. I guess that it's a sound that they don't normally hear or pay attention to, maybe? I mean, I get it that, like, my body doesn't entirely function like most. Like, oh, I cracked my neck. Like, I have hypermobility and I can move my windpipe. That's not normal. What was that last poem? Oh, dear heavens. Poets of the Tomb, was that it? Yeah, I think that was Poets of the Tomb by Henry Lawson. Can you do it on command? The gulping or like just grabbing my jugular and moving it? Because I can do that. The windpipe moving? Yeah, I can literally just yoink it and then wiggle. I was about to joke and be like, wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble baby. it wiggles. Uh-huh. Now you don't wanna move your windpipe while you're talking. What? Oh, you did the puzzle? Good job. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, my puzzlers. What was that? We need another puzzle? Okay. I'll give you a good puzzle. I'll give you a puzzle that you may like. Ta-da! Who is Ashy? Asha. Zu Asha. I don't know if I want to read this one. It's called An Imperial Message. The Emperor, so they say, has sent a message directly from his deathbed to you alone, his pathetic subject, a tiny shadow which has taken refuge at the furthest distance from the imperial sun. He ordered the herald to kneel down beside his bed and whispered the message in his ear. He thought it was so important that he had the herald speak it back to him. He confirmed the accuracy of the verbal message by nodding his head. And in front of the entire crowd of those witnessing his death, all the obstructing walls had been broken down, and all the great ones of his empire were standing in a circle on the broad and high, soaring flights of stairs. In front of all of them, he dispatched his herald. The messenger started off at once, a powerful, tireless man, sticking one arm out and then another. He makes his way through the crowd. If he runs into resistance, he points to his breast where there is a sign of the sun. So he moves forward easily, unlike anyone else. But the crowd is so huge, its dwelling places are infinite. If there were an open field, how he would fly along, and soon you would hear the marvelous pounding of his fist on your door. But instead of that, how futile are all his efforts. He is still forcing his way through the private rooms of the innermost palace. Never will he win his way through. And if he did manage that, nothing would have been achieved. He would have to fight his way down the steps, and if he managed to do that, nothing would have been achieved. He would have had to strive through the courtyards, and after the courtyards through the second palace encircling the first, and then again through stairs and courtyards, and then again, and then, once again, a palace, and so on for thousands of years. And if he finally bursts through the outermost door, but that can never, never happen, the royal capital city, the center of the world, is still there in front of him, piled high and full of sediment. No one pushes his way through here. Certainly not someone with a message from a dead man. But you sit at your window and dream of that message when evening comes. The Princess and the Pea, Hans Christian Andersen. Once upon a time, there was a prince who wanted to marry a princess, but she would have to be a real princess. He traveled all over the world to find one, but nowhere could he get what he wanted. There were princesses enough, but it was difficult to find out whether they were real ones. There was always something about them that was not as it should be, so he came home again and was sad, for he would have liked very much to have a real princess. Tea Emperor, thank you so much for the prime. Thank you, thank you. One evening, a terrible storm came on. There was thunder and lightning, and the rain poured down in torrents. Suddenly a knocking was heard at the city gate, and the old king went to open it. It was a princess standing out there in front of the gate, but good gracious, what a sight the rain and the wind had made her look. The water ran down from her hair and clothes. It ran down into the toes of her shoes and out again at the heels. And yet she said that she was a real princess. Well, we'll soon find out that, thought the old queen. But she said nothing, went into the bedroom, took all the bedding off the bedstead, and laid a pea on the bottom. Then she took 20 mattresses and laid them on the pea, and the 20 eider-down beds on top of the mattresses. On this the princess had to lie all night. In the morning she was asked how she slept. "Oh, very badly," she said. Said she, "I have scarcely closed my eyes all night. Heaven only knows what was in the bed, but I was lying on something hard, so that I am black and blue all over my body. It's horrible." Now they know she was a real princess because she had felt the pea right through the 20 mattresses and the 20 eider-down beds. Nobody but a real princess could be as sensitive as that. So the prince took her for his wife, for now he knew that he had a real princess, and the pea was put in the museum, where it may still be seen if no one has stolen it. There, that is a true story. So this next one is H.P. Lovecraft. Is it Azathoth? Hi, Bella. Welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Woo woo. Is this too bright? Like, I want to be bright, but I don't want to be dark. I don't know where a good middle ground is, you know? I also wanted to adjust these. Okay. I don't know whether it's which one it is, but oh well. Oh, I forget I can turn my pages too. It's very cash money. Azathoth, H.P. Lovecraft. When age fell upon the world, and wonder went out of the minds of men, when grey cities reared to smoky skies tall towers grim and ugly, in whose shadow none might dream of the sun or of spring's flowering meads, when learning stripped earth of her mantle of beauty, and poets sang no more save of twisted phantoms seen with bleared and inward-looking eyes. When these things had come to pass, and childish hopes had gone away forever, there was a man who traveled out of life on a quest into the spaces whither the world's dreams had fled. Of the name and abode of this man, but little is written, for they were the waking world only. Yet it is said that both were obscure. It is enough to know that he dwelt in a city of high walls, where sterile twilight reigned, and that he toiled all day among shadow and turmoil, coming home at evening to a room whose one window opened not to the fields and groves, but on a dim court where other windows stared in dull despair. From that casement one might see only walls and windows, except sometimes when one leaned far out and peered aloft at the small stars that passed. And because mere walls and windows must soon drive to madness a man whose dreams and reads much, the dweller in that room used night after night to lean out and peer aloft to glimpse some fragment of things beyond the waking world and the grayness of tall cities. After years he began to call the slow-sailing stars by name, and to follow them in fancy when they glided regretfully out of sight, till at length his vision opened to many secret vistas whose existence no common eye suspects. And one night a mighty gulf was bridged, and the dream-haunted skies swelled down to the lonely watcher's window to merge with the close air of his room and make him part of their fabulous wonder. Take a drink of water. There came to that room wild streams of violet midnight, glittering with dust of gold, vortices vortices of dust and fire, swirling out of the ultimate spaces and heavy with perfumes from beyond the worlds. Opiate oceans poured there, little by suns that the eye may never behold, and having in their whirlpools strange dolphins and sea nymphs of unrememberable deeps. And for days, no, noiseless infinity eddied around the dreamer and wafted him away without even touching the body that leaned stiffly from the lonely window. And for days, not counting in men's calendars, the tides of far spheres bear him gently to join the dreams for which he longed. The dreams that men have lost, and in the course of many cycles they tenderly left him sleeping on the green sunrise shore, a green shore fragrant with lotus blossoms and starred by red camelots. My tummy's making noise because I drank water. Thank you for the gifts. Do you like serial killer? What does that mean? Who is cereal? What's your favorite cereal? My favorite cereal is what is my favorite cereal? I don't know about favorite cereal, but a cereal that I like to get quite often, hi Nata, is Life, the Life cinnamon just plain squares, because I would choose, a sugary cereal like most people, but I have to pay close attention to how much sugar and what kind of ingredients are in it. So, unfortunately, what is the Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Oh, I miss having Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And the next one is The Wind's Message by Banjo Peterson. There came a whisper down the bland between the dawn and dark, above the tossing of the pines, above the river's flow. It stirred the bows of giant gums and stalwart ironbark. It drifted where the wild ducks played amid the swamps below. It brought a breath of mountain air from off the hills of pine, a scent of eucalyptus trees in honey-laden bloom, and drifting, far away along the southern line, it caught from leaf and grass and fern a subtle strange perfume. It reached the toiling city folk, but with few there were that heard. The rattle of their busy life had choked the whisper down, and some but caught a fresh blown breeze with scent of pine that stirred. A thought of blue hills far away beyond the smoky town, and others heard the whisper pass but could not understand the magic of the breeze's breath that set their hearts aglow, nor how the roving wind could bring across the overland a sound of voices, silent now, and songs of long ago. But some that heard the whisper clear were filled with vague unrest. The breeze had brought its message home, they could not fix abide. Their fancies wandered all day towards the blue hill's breast, towards the sunny slopes that lie along the riverside. The mighty rolling western plains are very fair to see, where waving to the passing breeze the silver miles stand. But fairer are the giant hills, all rugged though they be, from which the two great rivers rise that run along the bland. Oh, rocky range and rugged spur and river running clear, that swings around the sudden bends with swirl of snow-white foam. Though we, your sons, are far away, we sometimes seem to hear the message that the breezes bring to call the wanderers home. The mountain peaks were white with snow that feeds 1,000 rills. Along the river banks the maize grows tall on virgin land, and we shall live to see once more those sunny southern hills, and strike once more the brittle track that leads along the bland. Alright, let's look for the next one. Hi Hitsuga, it's good to see you. Unironically listening to this stream to fall asleep. I am honored to help anyone fall asleep. The next one we have is a bit lengthy. We'll see if I can get through this one. That's alright. I understand we get a lot of lurking. Oh, there's another H.P. Lovecraft. And another one. The Phoenix Bird, Hans Christian Andersen. In the garden of paradise, beneath the tree of knowledge, bloomed a rose bush. Here, in the first rose, a bird was born. His flight was like flashing of light, his plumage was beauteous, and his song ravishing. But when Eve plucked the fruit of a tree of knowledge of good and evil, when she and Adam were driven from paradise, there fell from the flaming sword of the cherub a spark into the nest of the bird, which blazed up forthwith. The bird perished in the flames, but from the red egg in the nest there fluttered aloft a new one, the one solitary phoenix bird. The fable tells that he dwells in Arabia, and that every 100 years he burns himself to death in his nest, but each time a new phoenix, the only one in the world, rises up from the red egg. The bird flutters around us, swift as light, beauteous in color, charming in song. When a mother sits by her infant's cradle, he stands on the pillow and, with his wings, forms a glory around the infant's head. He flies through the chamber of content and brings sunshine into it, and the violets on the humble table smell doubly sweet. But the phoenix is not the bird of Arabia alone. He wings his way in the glimmer of the northern lights over the plains of Lapland and hops among the yellow flowers in the short Greenland summer. Beneath the copper mountains of Fablun and England's coal mines, he flies, in the shape of a dusty moth, over the hymn book that rests on the knees of the pious miner. On the lotus leaf he floats down the sacred waters of the Ganges, and the eye of the Hindu maid gleams bright when she beholds him. The phoenix bird, dost thou not know him? The bird of paradise, the holy swan of song. On the car of Thespis, he sat in the guise of a chattering raven and flapped his black wings, smeared with the lees of wine. Over the sounding harp of Iceland swept the swan's red beak. On Shakespeare's shoulder he sat in the guise of Odin's raven. He sat in the guise of Odin's raven and whispered in the poet's ear immortality. And at the minstrel's feast he fluttered through the halls of the Wartburg. The phoenix bird, dost thou not know him? He sang to thee the Marseillaise. How do I properly say this? He sang to thee the Marseillaise, and thou kissed the pen that fell from his wing. He came in the radiance of paradise, and perchance thou didst turn away from him towards the sparrow, who sat with tinsel on his wings. The bird of paradise, renewed each century, born in flame, ending in flame. Thy picture, in a golden frame, hangs in the halls of the rich, but thou thyself often fliest around, lonely and disregarded, a myth, the phoenix of Arabia. In paradise, when thou wert born in the first rose, beneath the tree of knowledge, thou receivedst a kiss, and thy right name was given thee, thy name, poetry. Okay. Well, I know that we have many fishies asleep, and I know that there are still plenty more stories to be read. But I think today we will wrap it up here and we will take our leave. And I will be back on Sunday. So if you are not already following, I do suggest following so it's easier to find me again. And I would greatly appreciate if you could show some love to my reading channel, as YouTube is making my life difficult, and I do not have, let's see, copy, there we go. I just got comfy. I hate to break you out of your comfort, but I do need to go, so please do give this video and this channel some love. The more you're able to support, I am able to hopefully get monetization one day when it eventually works. And I will share the link across all of the channels, so do please follow the channel. And there is one audiobook already posted, so if you miss listening to my voice, Right there is 5 hours and 10 minutes of the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Joined at the perfect time? You joined for the raid. I thank you all so much for listening to me today. I really appreciate spending time with you. I appreciate having some company while I read. I will be back to play Mecha Chameleon on Sunday with one of our wonderful mods. So that will be a bit of an abnormal stream. However, if you want more ASMR from me, check out my YouTube. If you want previous VODs, also on YouTube. And if you want reading, check out the Reading YouTube channel. If you did not know, I am also on the Purple app. If you want your view to count towards something, I encourage you to be on the Purple app because I can actually get partnership over there. But I also understand you doing what is most convenient for you. So without further ado, this is the part where we say our goodnights, our goodbyes, and our see you tomorrows. I will be back again Sunday for Mecha Chameleon at 6 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. Thank you all so much for spending time with me today. And please drink your water, eat your food, be kind to yourself and others, and have a great night.